Alrighty, so let's get it on, guys. This is the 8BGCast, and I am your host, Steve.
Sterl.
And this is the 8BGCast. We're the 8-bit generation. And as I always say, if you guys like this podcast and other shows on this channel, please give us a like and subscribe. Helps out tremendously. We're almost at 100. So, yippee.
We're almost there.
Yeah, almost there.
Considering the amount of content we put out, which is slim pickings these days.
Well, I'll say this. I've been
Well,
doing a
not on
lot of
your end with
yeah,
your
I've been
streams, but that's
yeah.
easy. You just stream and it's there.
It's true. Yeah, exactly. But
I can
actually,
just throw up some of my old streams and call it a day.
you can do that if you want. Yeah, throw them my way. I'll throw them out. Why not?
Some of them were vulgar. I don't know.
I'll edit it out for you. Don't worry. I'll put some bleeps and bloops.
All right. So,
All right. So it's been a while. I think the last time we did a podcast was last year, right?
yeah, well, it was like Christmas time or not, something like that.
And I know the big story was Cyberpunk, but that's kind of like that's a lot of stuff that's happened with Cyberpunk since we spoke about it.
So I had a chance to play it a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play it a lot more, but I played it like maybe a couple more. I got like a couple hours into it.
What part are you up to?
I haven't met Keanu yet, so I'm not that far.
Oh damn!
But I was playing it more as like I almost play it as like a tech demo. I don't, I'm playing it just to see. And have I run into weird glitches? Yes, I've run into a lot of weird glitches. I've played it since the update, but since like some of the updates, so it slightly runs better. But the big thing is that I think that game was not what I was expecting it to be.
What do you mean?
I thought it was definitely going to be more of an RPG, and it's actually more of an adventure. It's like more of a action game with RPG elements. Like The Witcher is similar, but I feel like this game really focuses on the action.
Yeah.
You know, all your abilities are very action related. And what I mean by action game too is as detailed as the world is, it's not like everything in the world is like something to do. You know, like I thought when looking at the game, I was like, you'll be able to walk in here and play some cards with this guy. You know, like kind of like you can do like everything in Red Dead Redemption, or you can do everything like even in The Witcher. There's so many things to do. And I haven't played the game a lot, but from what I'm hearing is it's mostly there's a lot of missions and things. But in terms of variety, in terms of like just getting lost in the city and just having a day in the city. Like I feel in The Witcher, you can just have a day. Go just it's hard to explain, but like you go to a bank and something happens at the bank. It's weird. Like there's so much depth that I don't know if this game actually has it according to what I've seen.
I mean, I'll say that too. Like, I think this game, while I am enjoying it, I think it's mostly the story and kind of the presentation that kind of blows you away more than anything. Right. And I feel like had this game came out, let's say like 5 years ago or something like that, 5-7 years ago, it would have been blowing everyone away.
Right.
But I feel like, after you look kind of past like the graphics and the story and the presentation and the set pieces, it feels it's a decent game if you let's like put glitches aside and everything. But again, sometimes I'm driving and it feels very barren. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like
that's what I'm
living in a world.
It doesn't feel like a world. It looks like a world. But
exactly.
Doesn't feel like a world.
Like if you let this game play,
I remember in the original promos, it was like, oh, each person has their own schedule walking in the city, and it's a real live city. And when I play it, I'm like, nah, I think these don't feel like live people. They just feel like people walking. And I've seen videos where they wait there and people just literally walk up and down to make the illusion. But like if you play like Red Dead or anything, and those people really do seem to be doing things, with their time. They're not just for show. I feel like a lot of Cyberpunk is for show. So I'm still gonna play it one day. Like it took me a while to really start playing like The Witcher. I didn't play it right when I got it. I just kind of let it sit for a while, and then one day I was like, you know what? I'm not working. Let me go beat this game. Let me do something. So yeah, that was a little bit I wanted to talk about Cyberpunk. So yeah, it was. I'm not quite as impressed with it. That I was really looking forward to it, and it it's kind of maybe it was overhyped. It was overhyped.
I definitely think it's overhyped. You know what it is? Cyberpunk, what it has going for it is the style. Like that style is a very attractive style to the general public, and I feel like, and the game had so much stuff.
Right? Yeah.
It had so much stuff going for it, like the style, the look. It looks really good. Like I like the style, like the kind of like the futuristic retro. I don't know what it's called, futuristic retro look of the '80s or something like that. Doesn't it look like a futuristic '80s in a way? In some places, like the neon lights. Yeah, Cyberpunk.
That's literally
Mhm.
that's the style. Like
Yeah, style. But it looks it's attractive, I think to the general public.
Oh.
But I think the game itself is okay. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I don't want to say it's a bad game because I haven't beaten it. I do enjoy the game, but I feel like it's kind of rough, especially with like the animation in certain places. I feel like it's not as
janky.
yeah, exactly. It feels janky.
It's janky like an open world game would be, but you would just think the way
but
they
no,
hype
no.
the
I
game.
think like Grand Theft Auto 5, like even though that's like a 8-year-old game at this point. I just played it recently on the PS5, the PS4 version, and it still looks really good. Like I'm impressed with it, and I feel like Cyberpunk has great facial animation. Like when the character's up in your face talking to you, some of that's really cool. But then everything else feels kind of weird. Like when you see some of the animations in certain places, it just feels like kind of like like you would said janky.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hopefully when I get a more because some of the things are cool, like the video recording feature that they do, they plant in your head, and
Oh
or
yeah,
at least I thought that was cool.
I
I
mean
don't know.
it's I think it's
The
a great
first
way
time I
to
did
like
it, I thought it was kind of like a cool idea, but I don't know. Maybe it can get
yeah,
kind of
it gets okay. Sometimes, I think when you're just trying to breeze, I mean, for me, I just want to breeze to the story because I think the story mode is probably pretty good.
you have to stop playing when you do
Huh?
that. You have to kind of stop when you get to
Yeah,
those
exactly. So then, it kind of breaks the story a little bit. I think it's a good
brain.
distraction, but I think it shouldn't. Sometimes it can be long. Sometimes you're looking for the sound or the temperature, and it get kind of annoying. But that first one at the apartment with that guy with the robot and everything, that was pretty fun. It was
Okay.
pretty new.
I have to actually do that, I think.
Oh, you didn't do that yet?
I did the intro to it where you do the robbery and the guy does the robbery. It's like the first you're
Yeah,
jacking in and
are you in that gentleman's apartment, like the one of the high
I think
ranking
I'm when you're brain dancing as the girl and you have to like
is this is the robbery? The robbery at the store, right?
yeah, that's the first one
Okay,
I
that's the
did.
first one. And then the second one is the actual one
I think
where you
that's what
actually
I'm doing
okay,
now. Now
okay.
it's kind of similar to what you said. It kind of stopped the game, so I was kind of like, I just spent like 30 minutes learning how to brain dance. Now I got to actually do it, and I was like, oh, okay. So it's like kind of putting a puzzle together in 3D. But yeah. So Cyberpunk. Let's not dwell on it too long.
Yeah, it just has
Let's
enough of
move on to um one game I've been playing recently.
hmm
I mean, real. I'm like the guy that plays games for like an hour, a couple hours, and then like I see what's up. But I've been playing. It's free on Epic's Game Store because Epic Game Store really just gives away a lot of good free games every week. Like
hmm
even if you don't have a PC that can run them, I would suggest go on there every week and just download the games they have. Like, I mean, obviously they only have them free for a week, but so Rage 2.
Rage. So okay, that came out 360
Yeah,
a while back.
yeah, it came out on not the 360. It came out on
Rage Rage 2, right?
Rage 2 was on one and it was on PS4 and one. I don't think it was
Oh,
on
okay.
360.
Okay, my
I think the
bad.
original Rage might have
Yeah,
been.
Rage was definitely a 360 game. I
Now
thought
I
that
never
came.
played the original Rage because
Mhm.
I just didn't. I wasn't into shooters so much and whatever. But over the time, I've become more of a shooter. I like shooters now.
hmm
Moving to PC. So this game has not steampunk aesthetics, but it's more like the post-apocalyptic Mad Max kind of thing going on. It's an id shooter, so it's made by the people that did like Doom and all that, I guess. I think id
Yeah,
Software,
yeah.
whatever.
It's software.
Um, and it, I remember it kind of coming and going. Like it did okay with reviews, and then, but I don't know. I found it pretty fun. I found it like it's immediately engaging.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're going through this mission, as and but it's a shooter. It's an open world shooter, so it reminds me of Mad Max, which is the third person game
Mm-hmm.
that underrated Mad Max game that kind of came out and went by. Uh, it reminds me of that. It's kind of that was open world as well. You get this car, you take out hideouts, you do missions. So yeah, I started playing that. But the fact that I think for me it's free, free on the
Mm-hmm.
store. So I'm looking forward to giving that a bit more. You get a power suit, you get to do upgrades. It
Mm-hmm.
almost feels like Borderlands, but not as
Really?
wacky as Borderlands.
How does the like gameplay? Have you played the recent Doom games on the last
I've
gen?
not, and I have them, and I've not played
Oh
them. I have
wow.
them.
Okay.
I
I
know they're
played.
really fast paced. This doesn't
Mhm.
seem. This is not as fast paced because you're not moving moment to moment fights,
Mhm.
but they do kind of I think want you to do that because similar to Doom, when you kill people, that's the only way you get health back. There's a little health that they drop health like in Doom.
Mhm.
And you have to go get it. It's not gonna fly to you or anything. So it kind of encourages you to move to person. So
So do
I'll
you need
see
to
how
play
it goes.
part one? You need to play part
I
one to
don't
really
think
understand.
so. This
Okay.
doesn't. I mean, there's a bad guy in it that sounds like he was probably in the first one, but I think because I don't think a lot of people really played the Rage one or kind of So it seems I think Rage one was like during that time where every shooter was like brown and gray.
Yeah.
I think it was. This one is intentionally very colorful. It's pink and shit all over the place.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So that's what that was Rage 2. I'm amongst my game library. It did pique my interest to maybe see it a little bit more.
Mhm.
Sometimes you end up playing games you just never thought you'd play, and for no good reason.
Mhm.
Like my guilty one is like Crackdown 3, which is awful. It's
Yeah.
really bad. But I played and completed that game. I don't
But it's free,
understand.
right? You played it for free, right?
I
You
did
can.
play it for
Yeah,
free,
exactly. So when there's no
and
stakes
I there
involved,
was
it's like
some.
it's so much easier to get into games because I think that also breaks the barrier of like paying for something sometimes when you get it like for free. Like for example, Netflix. Sometimes you watch a crappy movie on Netflix and you're like, this
Just
movie's
because it's
terrible.
there.
But
Right.
it's there and you're like, well, I didn't besides the subscription, I had to pay extra for this movie.
Right.
So
And
it's
that's
like whatever.
I had Crackdown 3 from the Xbox Games
Hmm.
Pass. And and I heard that was the crazy thing. Like it didn't review well and people and I was like and it didn't the Crackdown 1 and 2 have like a good story actually where there's like kind of intrigue to it. This doesn't have that. They completely like kind of went back on like there's a big twist in I think the first couple of Crackdowns.
Hmm.
This one is really just from the ground up. You're just Terry Crews or whoever running around
Wait,
destroying
wait.
shit.
You don't get to customize your character. You just straight Terry
You
Crews.
can pick you can pick other characters, but I want to be Terry Crews. I don't. There's
Yeah,
nobody
of
like
course. I'm just
there's
saying,
other
yeah,
random
because I think
guys.
the other crackdowns they allow you to customize your
Nah, this you
character.
don't. You select.
Oh
There's
wow.
different agents to select that kind of have different abilities, but like
Mhm.
Terry Crews is like super strong ability, and
Of course.
he has Terry Crews voice line, so I'm being Terry Crews
Yeah, exactly.
because it's Terry Crews. So yeah, so that's free games. But let's talk. Let's get into. I don't know if you paid attention to it, but I'm a big Overwatch fan, and BlizzCon was this weekend.
Hmm.
If you don't know, that's like Blizzard's gaming convention where it's mostly for PC people because it's like Diablo and all those games, Warcraft and all that stuff. They announced all the sequels, but basically the big thing for me was Overwatch because I'm a big Overwatch fan, and they announced Overwatch 2 way back in 2019, and it was going to have more news in 2020, but COVID hit, so then we lost a lot of news. So I was itching. I'm hoping, like in my head, I'm like, oh, Overwatch 2's got to be coming out soon. They've had all this time to work, and they said even with COVID, they were able to really keep their work going.
Hmm.
Um, so they really they showed a lot of gameplay. Um, which has received a lot of mixed reactions from people because Overwatch. The first Overwatch is purely, for the most part, multiplayer uh, PvP experience.
Yeah.
Occasionally, they have events that are PvE. The big thing about Overwatch 2 is huge campaign. They're
Mm.
adding a huge campaign, and they're adding these like hero missions, which allow you to take each character, level them up, they get new abilities and all that stuff, and they're supposed to be highly replayable. So they're really going the PvE route with Overwatch 2, but they're not ignoring PvP as well. When they first announced it, they said it was going to be like almost, it sounded like an expansion because they were like, you'll be able to play Overwatch 2 from Overwatch 1. You just have to purchase whatever. And if you don't want to purchase, you can still play multiplayer because multiplayer, blah, blah, blah. Now it doesn't look to be that way. I think Overwatch 2 is now going to be its own thing. I heard rumors that Overwatch is going free to play eventually. And if that was the case, that probably means Overwatch 2 is definitely going to be something you have to buy on its own. I don't mind that. A lot of people are kind of upset at what they saw because a lot of the stages were reused from Overwatch 1 in these mission modes, which is kind of like, okay, hope we got enough new stages. Hope we got enough new stages. And I'm imagining this game's going to be, what, $50 or $60? I remember getting the original Overwatch for $40.
I've seen them 50 in most places at the time because it was like Overwatch, like Origins Edition. Yeah, that was like the big one I was selling a lot back.
And I believe I waited. I didn't get it right on launch. I got it like maybe a few months, and I think I waited for a sale. So a lot of people are upset, saying it looks like an expansion and stuff like that. For whatever reason, I trust these developers to actually bring forward a product that's much more than an expansion. And I don't even think it's wrong, even if you pay for whatever they're offering, only because Overwatch is one of the very few games in this day and age. And I don't know how they're going to get away with it next game because Activision is Activision and they want your money.
Of course.
Overwatch had no paid DLC. None of the DLC in the game was paid. Every character that came out was yours once they came out. All the stages. Granted, it's not like they added like a lot all the time, but it was a consistent, we play it, new thing, new stage, new character, new mechanic, new something. Not $1 charge. They didn't charge anything. I haven't put money into that game since buying it, and I still play it, which is to say something. You look at other games like Rainbow Six Siege and all that stuff, which is still going, but Rainbow Six charges you for every character, and each character comes, or they have season pass, which are like $40. We'll pay all these season pass and buy, but Overwatch has done it nothing, no charging. So for them to say, hey, okay, Overwatch 2, here's a new game, a lot of new things added. Here you go, whatever. I'm like, okay, I haven't paid in this series since 2015. So I think it's okay for them, I'm hoping it's still a lot of new content, but I'm trusting that, they deserve some for the.
I mean, you know what? I definitely know. I'm sure they are very aware of their Overwatch audience, and even though I don't really play Overwatch, I do see like the fandom, how they are very invested into the game, the characters, the style, the gameplay. Like Overwatch has so much going for itself, just aside from the gaming aspect.
Right.
So I
huge
definitely
lore, and people love just love even like those Overwatch videos.
Yeah, those do bangers on YouTube. They're on YouTube, right?
Millions, yeah. The ones that show the storylines is
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, people watch. Yeah, people love this.
Very
Overwatch
good.
is so huge. I think good character design, which they do have. The toys sell great. The
comics.
Comics. There's so much to Overwatch. Like it's pretty much like a multimedia franchise. And
they got a Haitian hero just for you. They got a Haitian hero.
Which one is that? The ball.
Baptiste.
Baptiste. Oh, yeah, really.
The black guy. He's like the best healer in the game.
I literally played the game for like a week and then I returned it to GameFly.
Oh, see, I was gonna say the hero history thing. They got Baptiste got played all.
I missed out. I'm gonna try to rent it out, or buy it at this point. But what I was saying is that I think they're gonna be very careful in terms of what they're going to do because they don't want to, of course, alienate the audience. Because that can happen when you have a franchise. Like sometimes you don't have the whole migration over to the next game if it doesn't, if the expectations aren't met or it doesn't look to be a better deal than what you currently have. So I think they're probably walking a fine line so that they don't, lose their audience.
And I think one of the scary things about that is they said they really are putting all their energy into Overwatch 2. which is kind of and they didn't have a release date, which is kind of scary. They didn't say like sometime 2021. If this game gets pushed back to 2022, which is probably most likely, it's gonna be kind of weird because Overwatch right now is it's in an okay place, but we haven't had a new character, and that game lives on the new characters and we had a new stage, but it wasn't a competitive stage. It was like a free for all stage, which is like okay, but we haven't had a new character for a long time. So to me, it's like that game is like on its way out. We can tell at least, but I don't know. I feel like you have to give something to the people that are still there. I mean, it's not like that content. Like whatever you give there is still going to end up in Overwatch 2 anyway. Like if it's a character, they're not going to take away. It's on, but I feel like they got to be careful because you don't want that game to just kind of die out because that'll lose a lot of people coming in. But the new game.
But what other game really like if even if Overwatch like doesn't do as perform? What other game is going to take its place that you currently see? I don't know any other game.
No, there's no.
Exactly.
I mean, like Apex Legends kind of like.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Apex Legends.
It's it is a battle royale, but it's free, and it does have its own characters that are quite well designed. I think they're pretty cool. They're not as cool, I think, or
it's interesting to look at, but it doesn't. It's not like Overwatch. Overwatch has it like down.
But there are people that really like cosplaying some Apex. Like Lifeline's a very popular character. So like but I don't think there's gonna be because there's no game like Overwatch really because it's a hero shooter and like a MOBA, and one and it's good. There's been games that kind of tried it, and Battleborn came out around the same time, which died, which is almost I think in March it's going to turn off the servers completely. But that's the biggest thing, like BlizzCon for me. I know they announced a Diablo 2 remaster, but I never played Diablo. I'm not that kind of.
I have Diablo 3 for a Switch. I think is that Diablo 3?
Yeah, it'd be Diablo 3. It would be.
I didn't really get into it. Like I tried playing it like just for fun, but it just does not.
Diablo 2 seems to be the one that everybody should play. Let's talk about Nintendo Direct, and then I got something else after that. But let's get into that. Did you watch it?
I did watch it. I did miss some of the beginning. But I think the biggest thing that was there was Smash Brothers characters. Reveal, and it didn't really excite me. I didn't play Xenoblade 2.
And it was very good, but
I just haven't had the chance.
I didn't play the first one or the second one, so
yeah, I'm playing the first one. Oh, I've played the first one. I haven't beaten it all the way, so I'm pretty much still at the beginning, right? Listen, we're the 1 hour boys. We just play 1 hour of a game and put it down for the rest of our lives.
Life, you don't have time.
I tell you, when you get to become an adult, it's just like time is just out of your hands. But I was.
The essence of it,
this is true. But I wasn't excited about the characters. Like to me, it didn't excite me because I don't know. It's just when I look at these characters, like I always want something kind of like unexpected.
You want something more iconic, I bet.
Yeah, kind of. Especially since you're paying for
like a Ryu Hayabusa. That would have been
exactly. A Sephiroth. Even though it's
something
like
right.
Like that. I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? That was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. And this character, I feel you. Where I heard of it and I was like, if you played that game, great. But maybe you might like that. But like, it's like for most people, it's like, oh, okay. Because I imagine a lot of Smash people haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's okay, but it's not as hyped. Like even if you're gonna bring a guest character in from another franchise, I think like the Persona one was really hyped because that was like so out of left field.
Persona's pretty popular. Yeah,
and Persona's pretty popular, and I think that character just had a lot of swagger. Just something about that was cool. Because even I didn't care for it, but I liked that. Like for something about that to me was like I like this character. Although from a gameplay perspective, I think she looks cool because the fact that she reminds me of the old Zelda that has two characters in one.
Oh yes.
So, they remember they don't have that now, but now this character has two characters. So I'm kind of like, all right, that's cool. I can get behind that, but I have no connection. Yeah. Like you don't even have to play Final Fantasy VII to know Sephiroth. Holy shit! Like,
or Steve from Minecraft. Like even though I don't care for Steve from Minecraft, right. I don't play Minecraft, but I know that it's a huge game. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's a
mean? So
big
that
deal.
stuff is cool. You know what I
Terry
mean?
from
Terry
Final,
from the final, yeah,
Final Fight. But no,
yeah.
oh God, Fatal
Wow,
Fury. Jeez,
that's not
Fatal
good.
Fury.
I'll have to take a gamer card.
Yeah, no, jeez. No, okay, those are two F games. Okay, Final Fight and Fatal Fury. Okay, that's the only reason I messed it up. Okay, you couldn't even think of it right off the
A
bat.
Mark of the Wolf. I see.
Okay,
I
well,
know it. Okay, look
different
at
version of Terry in that game, but yeah. Um, so yeah, that was kind of like I'm sure she'll be great gameplay addition. They do great with the characters, every character,
that.
but hype factor was not, if they just and I know it's all about rights and stuff like that, but like a Rayman or
Yeah, Rayman would
something
be cool.
like that.
You know what? I would say right now, like I have like three characters I really want to see. Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. Uh,
Likely could
you know,
happen.
I'm hoping it happens.
Could happen.
Crash, you know, Crash
Could
Bandicoot. Like,
happen. I almost see like okay, maybe
let me ask you a question. Do you think what are the chances of Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank being on it?
zero.
Zero.
I don't think Sony is gonna let that happen, or whoever,
Sony. So
Insomniac or Sony. I don't think
that
it's
would
gonna happen.
they're coming out with a Ratchet and Clank for PS5. It should be a Smash. That would be a great cross promotion.
I think it would be a good cross promotion, but I don't think if I had to choose another character to
Hmm.
be in the game, it wouldn't be Ratchet. Ratchet's like cool, but he's not like I don't want to like him fighting Mario is not like oh my god, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it doesn't have that passion, but think about it. Like think about how like out far left field that is, because you would never expect Ratchet and Smash Brothers.
No, I didn't expect.
Well, is he that popular? I
I
don't know if
don't
he's
think
that.
so. I think
Yeah.
he's PlayStation popular, but I don't think he's
Mhm.
like you're not gonna choose. I think people will still choose Mario over a Ratchet game.
Oh,
You know
of
what I
course, yeah,
mean?
definitely.
Something like Laura Croft that would be interesting.
Lovecraft, that would be
I
interesting.
that would be interesting.
And her
Um,
anniversary is this year, right? Or this year or next year?
yeah, and she's kind of been not around in games. I know that the next Tomb Raider game they said is actually going to link the old series with the new, so it's going to be in between before Tomb Raider One, I guess.
Probably like portals and dimensions.
I don't know, but I do enjoy that new Tomb Raider reboot series really much. It's really good. Um, Although I'm playing Shadow the Tomb Raider,
Mm.
I should beat that game. But anyway, so yeah, so that Smash that character, yeah,
Yeah, I'm mad on that. Like like you said, I think if you're a fan of the series, that's great. For me, like it's just like, all right, this is not the character in Smash.
yeah.
That's a,
Yeah. It's just like it's almost like if they added another Fire Emblem character. It's like
yeah. Oh my
and
gosh.
I love Fire Emblem, but I'm like when they added Byleth in the last
Hmm.
DLC pack, I was like, all right, I get it. Three houses is a really popular game. It's a really
Hmm.
good game. But I just said, do we need another
You know what it is? We
sword?
have too many
Which
sword
this
fighters.
character is
I
too.
think sword fighters. I don't know if they're easier to make compared to like other fighters. They must be, but I think we have so many sword characters. And I know
There
even though I
are,
want
and I think
Travis touchdown, but I just wish that we had some kind of like different like gameplay types.
like
Instead of like.
Minecraft. Yeah, I think the sword character is like I think there's always something iconic about having sword duels
Mhm,
and stuff. But but and I don't mind a sword character. I just mind like Fire Emblem sword character.
mhm,
Because you always know, like, even if they're down B isn't a counter, but usually it is. You know what I mean? It's always kind of very similar.
mhm.
Then, they play differently, all different elements, but it's all,
Well, let me ask you a
creative.
question. If you're playing for a season pass, do you want to see like a Nintendo character in the season pass, or do you want to see like strictly like third party characters? Because
If it
me,
was, and then if there's only one Nintendo character I really want to see in a season pass,
mhm.
I wouldn't mind if it's a cool enough Nintendo character. Like I don't know why Waluigi isn't there, even though I kind of see why he's not. But like I feel like he
why
should be there.
why you say that for?
Just stupid characters. If there's one character that could be erased from history, it's him. I mean, I like him, but it's like, come on, this is dumb. Now, I don't understand. I figured like you got like all these versions of Link and stuff. You got Mario and Dr. Mario. I always figured that they would add Paper Mario at some point. That's a character I would have liked to see. I think his art style would fit perfectly in that Smash world of just being out of place, like Game and Watch. I think he's obviously going to be very different from Mario, and it's not like he could have so many creative move sets and things like that. So I always thought that would be a character that would show up eventually. That's the only character. If he showed up in a DLC I would be happy with it. I'd be cool with it. I'd like it much better than the Fire Emblem character.
Yeah, definitely.
So
what else did they show in the presentation?
I don't know. Anything of interest to you?
I'm trying to think. I can't remember.
Well, they
I feel like the presentation itself was kind of like was okay. Like nothing mind blowing, even though they hadn't had it for a long time.
Some people. Okay, I have some mind blowing stuff there for me. But I'm gonna get to that. And I'm just trying to get this other stuff out of the way. They did announce an HD remaster of Skyward Sword.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I think that's been rumored for a long time.
It's been rumored for a while. Skyward Sword is probably the last full Zelda game I've played. Unless I don't know if the last full one I played was A Link Between Worlds. So, which is fantastic. I wish I didn't lose that game.
You haven't played Breath of the Wild?
So I've started it, and it's one of those games where I played for a couple of hours in the beginning. I played for a good amount of hours. I played at least 5 to 6, 7 hours of that at least. It's good, but I'm not the biggest fan of the style of it.
Why?
Because it seems like too much of a reaction to how Zelda normally is. Like, because they were getting heat. Like, people like not Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword reviews were all over the place. Some places say it was like the greatest game ever made. Other places like, oh, we're tired of the Zelda formula. We need something to switch it up. And Breath of the Wild is completely switching it up. And I'm not saying in a bad way, but you know how you sometimes you go to a game for your familiar type experience. And that's what I always kind of went to Zelda for. So when I was playing Breath of the Wild, I was like, this isn't quite a Zelda game for me. It's good, and I liked it. It's challenging, and it's like you can do whatever you want. You kind of explore. But I'm not the biggest I want to see what's over there. I'm not that kind of player. I kind of like having not the biggest explorable area. And I really enjoyed the hell out of Skyward Sword. I think it's the best Link, and I think it's the best Zelda. A Zelda that's actually important to the plot in terms of doing stuff. I like they almost have like a romantic but like not quite thing that they toy with the whole. I just like this is the first time I really looked at a story in a Zelda game and I was like because Zelda's kind of like the story's there and it's okay.
Yeah, it's more like a backdrop.
Right. This time the story actually was good. The gameplay to me was fun, but some people say, "Oh, waggling," and I thought it was used in very cool, creative ways. Boss fights were like really fun, really like some of them were like, reading your sword movements, and it really felt like involved. Now you didn't have to play it like that; you could just go like this, but you could actually play it and feel like you're in it. And I really enjoyed Skyward Sword like a lot. So I don't know if I'll be getting the remastered one. Because I feel like I don't really replay Zelda games. I try. The only one I might have replayed was Link to the Past, but they're long and they're kind of like, do I really want to spend 20, 30 hours doing this again? Like those moments, I'm not gonna feel the same again.
Yeah, because you already know what's going on. You know how to get through it.
For some reason, they don't the thrill. I can replay RPGs sometimes, but I don't get the thrill of replaying a Zelda game. Like I don't think I've ever replayed a Zelda game fully through more than once.
I mean, anyway. They're long games,
Yeah.
So I do have a list of some of the announced games on the Nintendo Direct. So we can go through them really quick. How do you feel about Splatoon 3?
Yeah. I didn't play a lot of Splatoon 2, and I'm sure that's probably a big thing for some people, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Splatoon's been great for Nintendo.
Right.
So.
It's a shooter, and it's probably really good. Just not for me.
Mario Golf Super Rush.
Now, I enjoyed the hell out of Toadstool Tour on GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
So Mario Golf has always been a game like if I bought it and played it, I'm sure I would enjoy it. I just haven't bought one in a while. So seeing this, I'm like, if like me and one of my friends, we love to go at it in Mario Golf. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of excites me that it's out there. So I might give it a shot. I don't know,
What
but
was the last Mario Golf game to be released? Was that Toadstool Tour? It couldn't be, right?
could it have been? Did they have one for like the Wii? And I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, they
That'd
had
be
one for the 3DS.
okay.
There was
That's
a
what it was.
Mario
Yeah,
Golf game for the 3DS.
yeah. Because I'm
So
not sure. I was thinking with the
I think
Wii.
that
I
was
mean,
the last.
I'm surprised they didn't do one for the Wii, with considering the type of gameplay. Um, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
That was fun for like a week. And I paid $20 for it, and I don't feel like I got gypped out. Like I could go back and play it at any time. I'm sure it's probably
Mhm,
still fun, but I played it a lot, and I definitely lost. Because it's so random. I know
mhm.
there's skill to it, but like
Yeah,
I
it
did
is.
win once, and I was kind of
Mhm.
happy. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
take that.
it's a very fun game. I thought at some point it would be the competitor, not directly competing with like Fortnite, but because I initially thought it was like free to play game because I got it during the
Right
PlayStation
when it was free on
game
PlayStation.
free to play. So I was thinking like, oh man, this game is really fun. Like it's just like
But
Wipeout, in game form, and it's like so easy to play and get used to.
And I think it would have been a little bit more popular if Among Us hadn't hit around that time.
Yeah, that's true. I
Because
think yeah,
it
Among
was
Us
there
was.
and then Among Us came out and just swallowed it. And now
Mhm,
no one even plays Among Us like that anymore. But
yeah, because I
and
think.
that's another thing I want like real quick. Among Us, not that it's like, oh, flash in the pan or whatever, but that's the one game which I know you haven't really played it. I don't know if you played it yet with friends,
Mhm,
but Among Us is actually really toxic in terms of like I've seen streamers talk about it, and I feel like that too. Where I've had like the group we play with couldn't really play with each other all the time because it really gets people
Fed up.
aggressive against each other like
Mhm.
no other game can. And I've seen streamers like one of the reasons it died in popularity is because it's too intense to
Mhm.
consistently be lying and attacking people. You have to lie about things, and you have to lying is not easy.
Yeah,
So
line's stressful for a lot of
it's
people.
stressful. And then also you have to sometimes you have to guilt an innocent person. Like you have to do things like that are really deceptive. And I think
Yeah.
and sometimes it got aggressive. People really got on each other and stuff about it. Especially when oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you say that? You just get oh,
Mhm.
that I think it's a great uh study. There's a study somewhere in there about
Really. Mhm.
there's something in there about how that game, how that
I'm
aggression.
sure like there's certain personalities that probably do really well in the game. Like people who can be really
Yeah,
manipulative and like sell a lie really well.
smells really
Uh,
good. I mean, Miller, Miller the one like, sorry, maybe edit that out. Bandito
yo.
is really good
Yes.
at. I think he's really because he can speak over you.
Mhm.
Like he can do that really well.
Yeah.
And I think if he, we didn't play it all that much, but
Mhm.
he was really good.
I
Like
want to do a session. I want to do. I definitely want to
one
try
of these
this.
days, we'll see if we can get the gang together. But
Yeah.
you guys in that game would be hilarious. You would be the worst and the best. But let's go on with the Nintendo Direct stuff. So,
All right. So there's Outer Wilds. I don't know if you heard of that.
very good game. I've played a little bit of it. Once again, my hour into the game, it's very much like Fallout.
Mhm.
Not very much, but it's like Fallout style game, but it's a little bit like more on the humor aspect of it, and it's very small, contained experience. I heard, I enjoyed what little I played of it. So, yeah.
And this is Outer Wilds, not Outer Worlds.
Oh shoot! I think I was talking about Outer Worlds.
I'm like, wait, yeah, that's like this game because it looks like an indie game.
No,
Says
yeah,
it's
you're right. I'm thinking of the wrong game.
I'm
Outer
like,
Wilds is weird. I never played it, but I heard something like you die every 5 minutes or something. Something like crazy like that, or I don't know,
is it
something.
like one of those what do you call those? The game like Hades, which is a wonderful game. I'm
No,
like
no, it's not like
it's not,
that.
not roguelite.
No, it's not a roguelike. But
Okay.
well, let me not talk about it. I really don't know right off the top of my head. I know it's weird.
Okay. Well, so
I
we'll
think
leave it at
it
that for
has
now.
a big thing to do in it. So
All right. So then the next game that they're releasing was Famicom Detective Club: The Missing Hair.
okay.
Okay. No more Heroes Trilogy.
How do you feel
Monst-
about that?
I'm a big No More Heroes fan. Haven't
Trilogy?
been, well,
This
I
is true.
think let me see. It might include part two. Oh, actually, no. There was three games that came out so far.
Oh, is
So
it
No
that
More Heroes,
weird like third one where it's like mini
mini
games and
games. Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it just says no. It's No More Heroes three, but I don't know. I guess the other trilogy is coming out too. I don't know.
Okay.
So Monster Hunter Rise, uh,
Never been in.
Stubbs,
So,
Stubbs the Zombie Rebel Without a Pulse.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised that game is coming out. All right,
Uh,
good assets, and I think that's pretty much about it. Yeah, yeah. Again, I don't think there's anything.
what? You missed something.
I missed
You
something.
missed one of the reasons that I'm like when I heard this, I like shit my
Hold
pants.
on, like, there was another RPG. Hold on, I think
Yeah.
there was another RPG game. I'm trying to think. This one doesn't have it. Wow,
Uh, well, I
this
know
is.
it.
All right, go ahead.
It was two announcements. One was already announced previously, which gives me a boner. My
Mhm.
PlayStation 1 boner is going off. Legend of Mana was announced.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. There's two. Yeah, the other game we're forgetting before I talk about Legend of Mana is I don't know if it was called Project Triangle something.
Oh yes, the made by the same Square.
Right.
I
So
seen that made
and
a
it's a
project.
demo. So I checked it out. I didn't play the demo, but I looked at like footage and stuff. And that looks like, boy, if you haven't played a Final Fantasy Tactics game in a long time, that looks like this is answering all your prayers. Did I get disconnected? Uh-oh. Are we here? Are we here? Are we here? Is Steve here? Think we lost you, Steve. Did we lose you? My internet's